Hello, hello, hello. First of all, I want to apologize. I was live at 12 p.m. Central Standard for my Facebook Live Counseling with Gems, Bewindi Jackson, Bewindi J. And you know what? It did not. I don't know what happened. The volume, it was chopped up. I couldn't even hear me, and so I had to delete it and just make a recording and try this again. This is my first time using StreamYard. Woo! And so I am learning as we go, and I'm so excited. So I'm going to keep this very brief. I have one more counseling gem with Wendy Jackson at the end of at some point in November, and I'll share that before I leave today. What I really want to share today is just a few points for reflection, and that is on managing your expectations. Manage your expectations so that you can manage your disappointments. Manage your expectation so that you can manage your disappointments. And so, usually, I want you to think about the last time that you had some expectations. Many times we don't think that we have expectations of people, but we do. And when we realize that we do have expectations is when people don't show up the way that they said that they were going to show up for us, when we have a strong reaction to something that we wanted to see happen that didn't happen. And excuse me, my computer is doing something weird and I'm not sure what it's doing here. So just excuse me for 1 second. I'm going to let it do what it needs to do. So when people don't realize, when people don't show up for us, or when somebody doesn't do something that they promised that they were going to do, when we have a strong reaction to something not going according to plan, usually it's a telltale sign that we are feeling disappointed about something that we were looking forward to happen and it didn't happen, right? What are your expectations of people? You might initially say, I don't have any expectations of anybody. I don't expect anybody to do anything for me. But then remember what I just said, when you have that reaction, when you have that emotion that comes up that you experience, that is usually a telltale sign of, why is this affecting me so much? What was I really expecting about this person? One of the things that I love to encourage is reflection, because reflection helps us to become more aware, more engaged, more intentional with thinking about what we're thinking about, and with noticing what emotions are coming up, so that we can ask the questions, we can process those emotions, and we could arrive at a healthy place or a healthy thought process, or maybe change our thought processes, right? So throughout my short talk today, I'm going to make sure that I share a few, or ask a few reflective questions for sure, to be able to help. And I'm not sure what the computer is doing here, so I'm just going to move this down. So, what happens when those expectations are unmet? What happens when our expectations are unmet? The reality is, we're going to have unmet expectations. People are going to let us down. Am I trying to tell you that everybody will let us down? No. But I want to just ask you some questions. How do you handle change? How do you handle when people let you down? When things don't go the way that they're supposed to go? When somebody promised you a raise, if somebody told you that they were going to show up for you, somebody said, I'm going to visit you, I'm going to send you this, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to marry you, and those things don't happen. How do you handle that? What is usually the first gut reaction? What is usually the first reaction? How do you handle disappointments? Think about the last time that you experienced disappointment. How did you handle it? What happened? What did you tell yourself about what happened? And sometimes we want to be honest with ourselves, and sometimes we don't always tell ourselves positive things about what happened. Sometimes we blame ourselves. Sometimes we diminish ourselves. We start to think really, really negative things about ourselves, that it's our fault, or this person doesn't love me, or this person doesn't want me, or this person doesn't care about me, or who, just so many other negative thoughts that we tell ourselves, or that we allow ourselves to think and believe, right? Here's the reality: we're always going to have unmet expectations, be it marriage, work relationships, be it whether it's transactional relationship or transformative relationships. We are going to be let down. We are going to have unmet expectations. There will always be unmet expectation. Here's why. First, as we manage expectations so that we can manage disappointments, the first thing that we have to do is to confront a couple of truths. Truth number one, people are flawed. We are inherently flawed because of a three-letter word that is very destructive, that started out in the Garden of Eden, and the solution is Jesus Christ. And that three-letter word is sin. Because of sin, our world is marred by sin. There is no perfect person outside of Jesus Christ. Therefore, people are flawed. We're going to make mistakes. And even when people have the best intentions, things happen. As the young people say, life is lifing, right? So I may have promised to do this. I may have made a commitment to do this. And then life happened and I couldn't be there. And while I may have the best excuses, I may apologize over and over and over and over again. The reality is that person on the other side felt disappointed. Perhaps, right? The first thing that we need to confront is that we are inherently flawed. The second thing is that there will always be unmet needs. And so how do we handle that? What do we do when promises are not kept? When things don't go according to plan. Number one, we need to set realistic goals. Number two, we need to make sure that we are communicating clearly, and making sure that we are managing those expectations and leaving room. Number three, for flexibility so that we can adjust. I'll give you an example, a vulnerable example. So I had an event scheduled, and I had childcare that was arranged for my son. And so I'm all dolled up for my event. My son is all dressed up. He has his toys, he has his snacks. We get to the destination of who was going to keep him, and then somebody whom we've never met before comes to the door and says she cannot do it today. Now, imagine the level of disappointment, because he was really looking forward to spending time with this person who's a family member, right? He gets there, he's crying. I'm crying with him because I don't like when things don't go according to plan as well, right? I'm crying with him, but I'm also trying to manage his disappointment and coaching him and counseling him and helping him to which we're gonna get into a little bit, helping him to regulate, and also turning it into a teachable moment. That, son, sometimes things don't go according to plan. Sometimes things don't always happen the way that we want it to happen. And we got to learn from that and learn how to deal with it and use our coping skills. What are your coping skills? Let's take some deep breaths. So the next point I want to do is, not only do we make space for flexibility and adjustment, and what do we do even in that moment? We adjusted. We found a Bartlett marketplace. We went, we had some fun, and we had a good rest of the day. We were not going to allow that to ruin the rest of our day, right? The other thing is focusing on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. I cannot tell you how many clients that is the focus of our discussions and our sessions, is focusing on what you can control, is managing disappointments. It's interesting how people expect certain things from people, especially when they've seen the pattern of behavior, just, unhealthy behavior. So for example, if a person has not always, I don't want to use that word, but if a person has usually been disrespectful, has not showed up, does not have integrity, has not been kind, would it make sense that I'm expecting them to all of a sudden be polite and be respectful and call and check in? No, right? I notice the pattern. I've got to notice the pattern. If I notice the pattern, I pay attention, and I'm not easily ruffled or frazzled by what the person is doing, because the history has a pattern of problematic behaviors. I think it's hilarious that I have an analogy for this, that's like going to the fish market expecting chicken, right? Like, that doesn't make sense, because you don't find chicken at a fish market. It's a fish market. So the same way, why would we expect something different from a person who has only been exhibiting unhealthy behaviors or the opposite type of behavior, right? And so, how do we manage expectations and manage disappointments? We talked about identifying or setting realistic goals, communicating clearly so you can balance between ambition and desires. Number three, make room for adjustments and flexibility. Number four, focus on what you can control. Number five, self regulate. What do I mean by that? Regulate means to allow yourself to come to a calm. And so, how might you do that? Well, in the example with my son, bringing him back to, hey, what are your coping skills? Let's deep belly breathing, self-talk. Okay, you know what? Maybe this person may have had something going on. You know what? I wonder if this person is okay. Especially when there's not a history or a pattern, the self-talk needs to be reframed. Man, I hope this person is okay. Let me pray for this person. They don't normally do this. Maybe there has to be something going on with this person. So now when I reframe my thoughts, I move it away from taking it personally. See, it's so easy to personalize the disappointment, to personalize the issue, thereby causing me to feel disappointed. Well, just because somebody doesn't do something that I was looking forward to does not mean I should feel disappointed. But if I'm sitting there simmering and why would they do this to me? And oh my gosh, they promised me and they didn't do it. And I was supposed to do it this way and I was supposed to go here and this didn't happen. Oh my gosh. Then this is what happens. I've got to manage my expectation and I manage my thoughts. When I'm reframing, even in self-regulating, I'm also thinking what else could be going on. Reframing means a different way of looking at the same situation, right? So maybe something else is going on. Maybe this person had an emergency. Do you see what happens? Now I begin to be concerned. Less focus about me, more focus about them. I may send them a message. Hey, I'm praying for you. Is everything okay? I may call them a couple of times, right? Now I'm moving the focus from me to them. Do you see what that's such a beautiful shift, right? But when we personalize everything, we become victims over nothing, right? But what if we just reframed our thoughts? And so self regulation may look like positive self talk, reframing your thoughts, deep belly breaths or deep belly breathing, right? Humming a tune, singing a song, thinking about what can I learn in this lesson? Asking yourself, what can I do? What's the next right thing to do in this moment? And how can I learn from this experience, right? So those are just some examples of things that I wanted to drive home. I hope that you can hear me better now. For some reason, I could not. The sound was giving me trouble. So I hope that this is helpful and that you take a few of those things. This is the purpose of this counseling gems, just giving you quick gems of wisdom to be able to navigate specific issues or concerns that you may experience. Today being managing disappointments and managing expectations. And so as you move into the holiday season, I want you to really focus on managing your expectations. If this person hasn't called you for years to just check up on you, to say hello, to say, how can I pray for you, to love on you, to say happy birthday, why would you expect them to say Merry Christmas? Why would you expect them to say happy Thanksgiving? Why even put that expectation? Why even leave yourself open to be hurt like that? You can manage expectations, right? By setting boundaries. Set boundaries. Protect your heart. Protect your emotions. Those expectations have to be realistic. Have to be realistic. People will let you down, will let us down, right? So just wanted to kind of end on that note. So here's a couple things that's happening that I really want you to be aware of. So Saturday, 11/2/2024, you're going to see it on the banner here. I will be the mental health facilitator at this community mental health fair. And I'm so excited. This is going to be at Hope Church. You can register by going to this link, https://bit.ly/health fair 11224. I'm super, super duper excited. It's not too late to register. It's going to be, there are going to be vendors there, snacks and food and fun for kids and mental health fair mental health talk to help you learn specific practical tools of handling your mental health. And I'm really, really honored to be the key speaker, the key seminar facilitator of this event. Also, if you are dealing, let me just go back a little bit. If you're handling disappointments, if you are disappointed, if you are in a place of constant disappointments and now you're grieving the loss of what could have been, what should have been, what you dreamt things would be like, and you're just living in that place of disappointments, don't suffer in silence. You can schedule a consultation on my website, againstalloddspcs.com. You could also send me an email if you want to have any questions. But to book a consultation, you just go to my website, againstalloddspcs.com. I'm not the only therapist in Memphis, but I definitely want to. If I am not the fit for you, I will definitely refer you out to other therapists in town. And then last but not least, I want to share, well, just a couple more things. The last podcast for 2024 will air on December 16th. Really, really excited. December 16th. I have pre-recorded episodes, so the last one will air December 16th. And then we will be asking for new guests. There'll be an opening for new guests for the Empower to Empower You podcast, March 1st, 2025. So just kind of mark your calendars. That way you'll be seeing some posts and notifications for that. I know it seems like a long time, but time goes pretty quickly. And then lastly, I want to share that my last Facebook Live will be, as you can see the ticker here, 11:20 at 12 p.m. Again, if I cannot do it on live, I will share the video and share it. I'm hoping that you can hear this very, very well through StreamYard. This is my first time using it. I'm really excited. So give me some feedback. You can also email me if you have questions, maybe suggestions for the lives. Maybe there's a way that I can pray for you. Send me an email. Hey, Bewindi, I need prayer in this area, whatever the case may be. I'm so thankful that I could do this today, and I'm hoping that you have an amazing week on purpose. I'm so sorry for those of you who are living with disappointment. I'm so sorry for that you feel disappointment. I want to share one hopeful thing is that you can recover. You can recover from disappointment. There is always another side of this. And so what is your next step? What are you going to do? What steps are you going to take to move away and move forward? Move forward. What are you going to do to navigate and process the disappointment and move towards a more hopeful place? What are you going to do? So this is Bewindi Jackson. I want you to know that you are loved and that there is something beautiful about you, that God has amazing plans for your life. I'm here for you, and there are many others who are here for you as well. Do not suffer in silence. I'm looking forward to the next live I'm kind of torn. I have to think about and pray about what is going to be focused on. I know for sure it will be focused around just the end of the year reflection and seasonal depression and things to expect as we navigate the end of the year. 2 more months, literally. That is crazy. But I'm so glad that I get to do this. And thank you for those of you who have supported me. Maybe you subscribe to Empower You podcast. Maybe you've recommended me for services. However you have supported me, I am grateful for you. So grateful for you. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week on purpose. And listen, manage your expectations so that you can manage your disappointment. Bye for now.